Hey y'all, I'm Ada K. And I must confess, I'm a trial junkie. I enjoy viewing trials as if I was the seated juror. So grab a cup of java, get comfy, and join me as we hop into court. And don't forget to comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe. And if you're really enjoying the channel, please join our membership.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm fine, I promise. Hi, out and about with Diane, 80s Music Man, Ronnie. Oh my gosh, y'all are so awesome. Thank you for showing up. Oh. Yes, it's been a hard day. Been one of the hardest ones. We will be talking about all this stuff, the shooter and everything. I just got to get myself a little more composed. Today I got my wheelchair and I've been very emotional all day because passed by all the hangouts. Tracy and I used to have lunch at Texas Roadhouse. Steak and potatoes, bread. And then at home was our favorite store. Hobby Lobby and Vera Bradley. And I passed by all of them today. And I've just been very triggered. And then I talked to her husband, who's so fabulous. Love you, Doug. Okay, let's get into this. Because I don't want to cry anymore. We are going to be watching a video here that was released earlier today from the news. So let's go ahead and watch that. And then we'll get into more detail and talk. I'm trying so hard. Here we go.
Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person, as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset. NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further. This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world, and of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners. On every level, local, state, and federal, we all serve the same public safety mission. And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead. For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video, followed up on hundreds of tips, and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more to tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system, Argus cameras.
What? Come on, seriously? Dang ads. I hate them.
And conducted aviation canvasses. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for. This combination of old school detective work and new age technology is what led to this result today. And we must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we shared with the public were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led to the recovery of crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our ears in these investigations. This is the third time in 3 weeks that a member of the public has seen something and said something and done something that led to a high-profile arrest. The triple stabbing homicide in Manhattan, the gunpoint robberies in Queens during which an NYPD officer was shot, and now this. Now, the case will continue through the criminal justice process. And while we are proud of today's accomplishment, we must, of course, remember that a family is in mourning. I want to again extend my sympathies to Brian's family, his co-workers, and all who knew him. Finally, I want to thank the women and men of the NYPD, especially our Detective Bureau personnel, with a strong assist from our intelligence analysts. We also thank the SAC of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division, Leslie Rodriguez-Bekshies. And I want to commend the staff of the Manhattan DA's office, and especially DA Alvin Bragg. He has been working with us 24/7 on this case, and I'm incredibly grateful for his partnership. I'll now pass it along to our great Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny, who will provide additional information. Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. As the Commissioner stated earlier, a male was taken into custody today in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born and raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California, and his last known address was Honolulu, Hawaii. He has no prior arrest history in New York. Members of the NYPD Detective Bureau are currently traveling to Pennsylvania with members of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to interview this subject. This case was brought to a successful conclusion based on the coordinated effort between numerous NYPD units, including the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Bureau, our federal partners at the FBI, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and of course, members of the Altoona Police Department in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, one day after this crime was committed, the NYPD released a photo of the shooter in this case. This picture was obtained by the NYPD during one of their extensive video canvasses. We took that photograph and we asked for the public's help in identifying this subject, and the public responded. Hundreds of tips began to pour into our hotline. Each tip was investigated thoroughly, and we began to release additional photographs as they came into our possession. The NYPD provided these photos to numerous media outlets. Local, national, and international outlets released the photo via television, print, social media, and online content. Luckily, a citizen in Pennsylvania recognized our subject and called local law enforcement. Members of the Altoona Police Department responded to the call, and based on their investigation, they notified the NYPD. This investigation is still active and ongoing. Thank you very much.
We're going to take questions on shooting first, and then we'll. Mark?
I had a couple questions about the document that he was found in possession with. Can you go a little bit more in depth about those motivations that you mentioned? Was that CEO specifically named in that document? Was there anything more about him wanting to go after others? And also in that document, was there any indication that explains us how the level of detail that he went into killing him? Like, is there anything?
Like I said, that document is currently in the possession of the Altoona Police Department as part of their investigation. But just from briefly speaking with them, we don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document, but it does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America.
Over here, sir.
MJ?
Chief, was the suspect wearing a mask at the time he was spotted in the McDonald's? And also, criminal cases often have a linchpin. Can you point to a single linchpin that helped crack this case?
There's numerous linchpins in this case, in the fact that we've recovered an enormous amount of forensic evidence, an enormous amount of video, and once again, with your help and the public's help. So I really couldn't put it on one thing, but if I had to, it would be the release of that photograph from the media.
Dean?
You said he had a passport on him. Do you believe he was trying to flee the country? And also, are you still looking for any evidence in Central Park in regards to the bike?
We had divers in the water yesterday that came up negative results. The passport, we don't believe that he was planning on doing any traveling at this time. We don't think at this point in our investigation, we don't think he was trying to flee the country.
The person at the McDonald's, were they buying food? What were they doing at that exact moment?
He was an employee at the McDonald's.
Right. But what was the suspect doing?
He was sitting there eating.
Will the suspect be brought back to New York and charged here, and when?
We're going to have to work that out with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He's going to be facing gun charges there. And at some point, we'll work out through extradition to bring him back to New York to face charges here, working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Hi, Anita from the New York Post. I was just hoping to get more details on the capture itself. Did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to cops? And we've also reported that he published online anti-health care industry rantings. Can you share with us some of the services that he posted on?
We're still working through his social media. We're going to do a complete scrub of that. Preliminarily, like I said, he seems that he has some ill will toward corporate America, but that will all come out as part of our investigation. We're not done here. We're still going to be putting this together. We're still going to be working very hard to bring this to a successful conclusion.
The capture itself, did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to police?
I don't have that information.
Oh, sorry. Can you elaborate on how he got there, the path he took from Port Authority and on the George Washington Bridge to Altoona, PA? Same
thing. This just happened this morning. We'll be backtracking his steps from New York to Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I was going to ask if we knew anything, if he took a bus to Philadelphia first and then somehow got to Altoona. But
We're still working on that. We're still working through that.
Brittany?
Is there any indication that anybody else was helping him from the inside, as far as tracking the CEO's movements?
Once again, we're still working this investigation very hard. It's not at its conclusion yet. That could come out during our investigation, but as of right now, we have no indication that took place.
Chief, did he have any weapons or anything like that with him when he was arrested?
He was in possession of a ghost gun that had the capability of firing a 9mm round and a suppressor.
Can you get into a little bit about the technical aspects of the investigation? I know you deployed an unprecedented amount of technology. You also activated the Sentry program through Intel. Can you talk about how that is going to play into actually building the case as far as cell phone and all of the other technical aspects of what you've done?
In this case, it really came down to technology was the use of drones in Central Park, and really comes down to the video canvas that we did. We used every source of video that we could collect, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours from hundreds of sources, and that helped bring this to where we are right now.
The gun is it believed to be the gun he used in the shooting? And there was some talk that it was a veterinarian type gun. Is that accurate?
No, as of right now, the information we're getting from Altoona is that the gun appears to be a ghost gun. May have been made on a 3D printer. The capability of firing a 9mm round. Obviously, that will come out during our ballistics testing.
Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver Barnes from the Financial Times. Do you have any indication how long this handwritten, is it a handwritten manifesto that you found on the suspect? And then also whether or not he put it online at all?
Don't know if it's online. As of right now, it's a handwritten 3-page document.
Chief, does he have ties to that area, and was he someone who you knew by name before his arrest?
We believe he may have attended college in Pennsylvania, but like I said earlier, he has ties to Maryland and California and Hawaii.
And you knew him by name before today. Was his name on your radar?
Excuse me?
Was his name on your radar? Was he someone who you had been looking into before his arrest?
No, we did not have his name prior to today.
Does he have any prior arrests? I know there were none for New York City, but is there any prior arrests anywhere else in the country?
We have not come across any arrests in the country.
Chief, hi, how are you? On two things. On the ghost gun, is it something you're going to be looking into to see if he made it himself and can he make that himself? Or would he have to buy the gun the way it was?
No, once again, that'll be part of our investigation as we follow up.
I mean, obviously he's going to face murder charges, but is there any chance that he could face any other charges because he was targeting the CEO and because of his writings and other things that we're now finding on him? Is that federal charges or
that determination will be made by Alvin Bragg.
Yes, what connections does he have in Pennsylvania that you know of, and are they in Altoona specifically?
We believe he attended college in Pennsylvania.
Does he know anybody in Pennsylvania?
Wouldn't be able to tell you that.
All right, we're gonna take one more question from shooting Marla, and then we're gonna go.
You talk about the manifesto having said things against corporations, but specifically UnitedHealthcare, and do you believe that Mangione acted alone?
We believe at this point, our investigation is leaning toward he was acting alone. So, like I stated earlier, we're still working through the investigation. We're not stopping today. And as far as the manifesto, like I said, I don't have the complete details of that. It's in the possession of the Altoona Police Department.
We're gonna shift to off.
Yep. Good job, Chief. Commissioner, Chief Magi. Again, great job by the New York City Police Department. Certain aspects of this investigation and the crime itself is something that we have been zeroing in on. Ghost guns. We have really talked about this since the beginning of the administration. They could be made on a 3D printer, and they are extremely dangerous, and we must do more on the federal level to clamp down on the availability of ghost guns. And it just really leads into just the top headers of what we did last week and what we're doing this week. This week is all about public safety. Public safety, I've stated over and over again, is a prerequisite to our prosperity, and we're going to continue to make this city.
All right, well, you got the news off the top there. It happened earlier this morning there in Altoona, PA.
Okay, I'm done with that. I'm going to show this one because it has a good picture. And it's short.
Luigi Mangione, seen here in social media photos, was arrested by police in Pennsylvania in connection with the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A McDonald's employee in Altoona, Pennsylvania, spotted Mangione eating and called police Monday morning.
McDonald's employee did something we asked.
Responding officers
Okay,
questioned
we've
the
already heard all
suspect.
this. I just want to, but look at this. This is interesting, y'all.
Unspeakable.
(2016)
Headmaster Smythe.
2016.
Mr. Hubeck. Members of the Board of Trustees.
Ooh.
Family, friends, faculty, and fellow students.
This is his.
Good afternoon.
Is it the valedictorian
Thank you all for being here
speech?
to celebrate Gilman's 116th Founders Day.
Valedictorian speech in his high
I'm
school.
honored to be speaking to you all today on behalf of the Gilman class of 2016. When I started writing the speech, I talked with several students and teachers and asked how they would describe the class of 2016.
Stupid.
Many of the students characterized our class as inventive, in both imagination and initiative. At the same time, several teachers reminded me of our class's commitment to Gilman and its traditions. I came to realize that both views are correct. The class of 2016 is truly defined by its inventive, pioneering mentality that accompanies a strong commitment to Gilman tradition. Throughout its time here at Gilman, the class of 2016 has been coming up with new ideas and challenging the world around it. Our selling of Chick-fil-A during lunch, arguably the staple of our class, provides a great example. In our sophomore year, when brainstorming ways to fundraise, we didn't just settle for the usual methods of selling spirit shirts and Christmas trees. In addition to this, we did what seemed impossible given the tight schedule of the school day and began shuttling dozens of Chick-fil-A sandwiches to Gilman between assembly and lunch. Soon, we were selling over 100 Chick-fil-A sandwiches each day, in what became likely one of the most successful class fundraisers in Gilman's history. But our ability to come up with new ideas didn't start then. I've noticed it as long as I've been here, even in my very first year as a sixth grader. If any of you have ever been on Gilman's campus before school starts, you would have noticed that every
I am so tired of these, but I can't stop these ads.
morning, rain or shine, the turf is filled with middle school students playing soccer, football, and frisbee. That tradition was actually started by the class of 2016. As many of you know, Gilman Middle School offers not one, but 2 recesses per day. But for the class of 2016, that wasn't enough. So, as sixth graders, rather than sitting in the hallways waiting for school to begin, we decided we'd give ourselves an extra morning recess before the morning even started. And now, 7 years later, that morning recess remains as a regular part of every school day. Of course, this isn't anything revolutionary, but it shows that even early on, the class of 2016 was challenging the world around it. Having great ideas, however, isn't enough to innovate. The class of 2016's inventiveness also stems from its incredible courage to explore the unknown and try new things. Just look at a few highlights from our senior year. This April, 5 seniors performed in Gilman's spring musical, The Addams Family, all of whom had no prior musical experience. 3 seniors, Jeremy Booth, Gus Meny, and Jake Goodwin, landed lead roles, while Tommy Morey and Chris Wolf helped put on the show that I doubt any of us will forget. How about this winter, when Kevin Wang delivered his senior speech? As Kevin moved to America and joined our class.
Do we want to listen to the whole thing? I just want you to get a glimpse of who this kid is. And he's a kid in my eyes. But, now, let's put that aside. We've heard a lot. I have some things I want to share. I move this over here so I can see comments. Forgive me. I am rearranging so I can get something up. Okay. So this is what we know about our dear little shooter. He's one messed up person, but he's a smart cookie. So I'm going to go through the information that I have pulled up. I've kind of made a cheat sheet. I use several different news medias. Okay. So we know who he is. Lugini, is that how they're saying it? Magione, 26, of course, was arrested in Philadelphia on Wednesday for the shooting on Wednesday. The attorney for Mangione, could not immediately be reached, while the New York mayor, Mr. Adams, called him a strong person of interest in the shooting that took place in the city. He was not immediately charged with Thompson's death, but was held in Altoona, where the police recovered the 3D printed ghost gun and silencer. I want to talk about that. A lot of people are going on about other YouTubers, and I will say his name, Runkle of the Baileys, Ian. I respect him. I have no idea what Super Mario Brothers is, so it has to be phonetically for me. But I want to say that people are getting all over Runkle, but it really isn't. He wasn't off. Nobody thought about a 3D printed weapon. I think, though, if it was the actual, why did my camera move, y'all? That's driving me nuts. And it's crooked again. Oh, dag nabbit. I got to get a new mount after Christmas. because this mount is giving me hell. Okay, that's a little better, more comfortable. Luigi, or Lou? Okay. Anyway, nobody thought about a 3D printed weapon, but if you look at the 3D printed weapon and look at what Uncle said, it is pretty dang close. The one thing that I will say is it does, now that I know it's a 3D weapon, now I can sit here and go, aha, because I have known several people who've tried to do 3D weapons and they are very inconsistent. They are very iffy on in the ability to properly expel a piece of lead through the lead shooter. And it explains a lot. And so that in and of itself is huge. So no dishing on this channel about anything that anybody else has said concerning that, because in all honesty, nobody thought about it. And the worst thing about 3D printing weapons is they tend to explode in your hand. That's right. Jamming makes a lot of sense now. And the problem is that if he didn't have the silencer 3D printed on that handgun that he had made, or lead shooter, sorry, that he had made or someone made, it probably would have performed a whole lot better. Yep, exactly. So, so that was interesting. They also have writings found in Mangatone, the suspect, the son of a prominent Baltimore family, showed some ill will towards corporate America. In the 4-star Goodreads review of the Unabomber manifesto that he posted in January, the suspect wrote, "It is easy to quickly and thoughtless. It's easy to quickly and thoughtless write. It should be thoughtlessly write this off as a manifesto of lunatic in order to avoid facing some of the uncomfortable problems it identifies. But it's simply impossible to ignore how I can't say the word. Many of his predictions about modern society turned out. Precedent. Okay. So he quotes another unidentified writer in the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, who killed the 3 people and injured 26 in a string of bombings. You may not like his methods, but to see things from his perspective, it's not terrorism, it's war and revolution. That is a very scary statement. Well, they say Hawaii, but he's connected with several other places, so they've got to verify that. But his last known location, possible residence, was Hawaii. You may not like his methods, but to see things from his perspective, it is not terrorism, but it's a war on revolution. War and revolution. This is scary. This is what he wrote. Here's what we know about the suspect. The Unabomber and radical violence. In his online book review, Mangione wrote that Kaczynski, who died in prison last year, was a violent individual rightfully imprisoned who maimed innocent people. He then quoted a take I found online that I think is interesting. The unnamed writer more clearly embraces Kaczynski, I can never say these names, who targeted figures of academia and business world from 1978 to 1995. So it's interesting because he's sitting here siding with these people. Oil barons haven't listened to any environmentalists, but they have feared him. The writer said of Kaczynski. Under the review, Mangione selected several passages from the manifest, whose formal title was Industrial Society and Its Future, including the one that reads, "The concept of mental health in our society is defined largely by the extent to which an individual behaves in accord with the need of the system to and does so without showing signs of stress." Mangione is from a prominent family. He was an Ivy League graduate. Is from a well-known Baltimore family. The Baltimore Banner reports his late grandfather, Nicholas Mangione Sr., developed real estate and owned country clubs, nursing homes, radio stations, according to an outlet, while his late grandmother was a philanthropist. Mangione is a cousin of Nino Mangione, a member of the Maryland House of Delegates. Ooh, snap. Which reported that the lawmaker's office confirmed the connection. Nino Mangione didn't return call for comment for USA Today. Mangione was a 2016 class valedictorian at Gilman School, local private school, graduated Ivy League University of Pennsylvania in 2020 with a combined master's and bachelor's degree in computer engineering, according to LinkedIn profile. Lugini and Mangione spotted in McDonald's, identified by McDonald's employees at 9:15 a.m. on Monday in the fast food restaurant. So he was detained from there. So the authorities did find a handwritten document in Mangione's possession, which spoke to his motivations and mindset. It is in the possession of the police department at this time. No other information is there. With authorities approached Mangione inside the McDonald's, he was sitting there eating. It was quite, I'm sure, interesting for the rest of the restaurant to see what happened. UnitedHealthcare Brian Thompson is believed to have stayed in the Upper West Side area of New York in December 5th of 24. So anyway, that is my lowdown on everything that happened. Okay. Comes from a lot of money. So I don't think it's healthcare for him that is an issue. You're right. It has to be building anger against corporations in general, surely. Well, that's kind of what's been rumored right now, is that this has all been building from corporate America. So it is interesting. So let me come back and see your comments. Well, that's what's so sad is you get these brilliant young men and women, and they commit these heinous crimes, and they come from good families. They know right from wrong. They're smart. They're valedictorians. Well, not all of them, some of them, but it's just horrible. So I guess it's going to be interesting to see what actually triggered this into happening. That is a really good possibility, Haley Mouse. Really good possibility. Sometimes kids kind of get bitter towards their families and the money and what they see them doing, and they disagree, and they're like, we're done. We don't want any part of it. But why this guy? What was it that caused him to go after this victim? We'll wait and see. We shall see. I don't have to be rich. I just would like to be a little more comfortable. Because right now, we ain't comfortable. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. I don't know if we're going to switch real quick. The Ole Miss student murder trial. I don't know if they went to the house and did a looky-loo. I'm not sure. I'm trying to find out. But one thing I want to say, and I'm not saying this to belittle anybody, because y'all understand that, everybody deserves the same rights to trial and everything else. But one thing that's frustrating me, and I have to say I was thinking about it today, is why. I know this killing is huge. It's very popular. It's very public. It's very big because the guy was the CEO of a major healthcare corporation. But if the police put the kind of effort they did in this case into some of the other unknown people cases, I think we get a lot more things resolved. And now I got the hiccups. He was under investigation for insider trading. All righty then. But how does this have anything to do with this kid? I just, is he trying to be someone who's for the people? I don't know. Mangione. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just bad at pronunciation. And I've had viewers go in and contact me and tell me how horrible I am, that I shouldn't be doing this because of that. But let me tell you something. I'm severely dyslexic to the point that when I was in college, actually in classes and not online, I never took a note for myself because I'm that bad. So the fact that I'm reading this live to you and just mispronouncing one or two words is a miracle. And this was, I know. He is Italian. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I hope to get some sleep tonight. I just toss and turn all night once I finally fall asleep. But anyway, and this is also, that is very interesting. I'm not wondering if he wanted to get caught to a point, because even though he was covered up, he really didn't cover his tracks well afterwards. And the fact that he still had everything with him when they arrested him. Well, we shouldn't have to have proper security. I don't care who you are. Yes, he didn't have his security with him. I get it. But do you think that whether he had it or not, this kid wouldn't have still tried to do it? I was shocked that the person that was standing about 10 feet from the shooter wasn't unalived either. I mean, when you watch that video, that person that was standing there, I'd be scared to death. Now that this guy's been arrested, I might come forward, but dang, I'd be going in hiding. I'm sorry, guys. My tears are still flowing. But man, so we'll have to watch this closely along with everything else and see what happens. Karen Reed, I'm not sure what's going on there. I've gotten multiple reports, so maybe we have a trial on December the 12th. And if we do, great. A hearing, not a trial, and see what date they reset it to. But the fact is of the matter, no matter when they reset it, it is not going to be in January, which is very depressing to me. I was ready to get that whole mess totally done and gone. Totally done and gone. So, is there anything else we need to talk about when it concerns this? Because other than that, I don't have anything else for you. We do have the judge dismisses manslaughter charge against Daniel Penny. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that boat. Somebody asked me about that, and I'm like, I have my own humble opinion, and I don't wish to share it. Because no matter what I say, it's going to start off a firestorm, and I'm not ready for that today. But with that, I want to say, everybody, thank you so much for joining again. Tomorrow court starts at 8:30. The DA dismissed it. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. My misspeaking. The DA dismissed it. I am needing to get sleep. So tomorrow, I am not going to be on at 8:30. When I get up, I'll start a live and we'll catch up. This trial that we're watching is moving so slow, I think we can skip a day and still come back in the same place. Well, he did agree. It did. Was it dismissed with or without prejudice is what I want to know. Or did they? Well, no, they didn't dismiss it. They dropped it. Yep. Well, the family is still going to sue him personally for the unaliving. Wow. It's a lot going on. So please be patient with me over the next week or so until after her funeral or services. I don't like funeral, her memorial, because it's not actually a funeral there. That's right. That's awesome. Well, depending on who you are. But anyway, I need to go to sleep. So be patient. I will be live tomorrow. I'll just do it once I'm up and about. Hopefully about 9-10 o'clock is what I'm thinking. Celebration of life. Thank you. See, my brain is just, this is hard because it feels like I've been chemo fog again. And my brain is just not connecting. And I am struggling. So I want to thank everybody for their assistance and help. We're still needing to raise a little funds, if but overall, y'all amazing. You've been amazing to me. I love you guys. Her husband sends his heartfelt thank yous. I'm trying to give myself some grace. Please hit the like. I got to be honest. I'd rather be here with you in tears than sitting and not being on and alone. So thank you so much for being there. You guys hug your family tight tonight. Hug your family tight tonight, because we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's true. Thank you, guys. Love you. Good night. And I will see you tomorrow. I am going to go curl up in bed. And I'm going to take my Vera Bradley blanket she gave me and try and get a good night's sleep. I get the flecks of mascara off my face. There we go. And everybody have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.